likes up. Trying to see what everybody out there fake caring about today. Time to run them likes up. Share this thing. Let everybody get up in here. It's time to run them likes up. Yeah. You already know what it is, man. Back with another edition. Live and direct, back in effect. BIGGDOGG for the thousands attendants and the millions listening and watching around the world. You already know what it is. 85% in the building. And we're just going to go in real quick on this Woke Up Motivated Monday to get live. Some people end their Mondays. Some people starting their Mondays, depending on where you are in the world. I'm probably out in the most western part of the United States, where it's still afternoon right here. So we're going to get it cracking off and popping off right now and just talk about some current things that went on today. NCU Buff football related news and Coach Prime. You know, so hit me in the comments. Let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know what's going on. Let me know where y'all listening in from. Let me know what you guys doing and what's the news and what's the haps on the craps. We already know that today in Buff football land, Coach Prime land, he cleared it out and opened it up and had to welcome Matt out for Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson. He also brought baby Future out that thing. And they had a little practice and you know, Willoff even captured it. We could do a reaction if you guys want to real quick. But Willoff did capture it where Russell Wilson was out on the field today throwing at Folsom Field. I think that was a good thing to see. Russ trying to get some work in. Also trying to get a little bit of that spotlight over there. Trying to get out of the doghouse, so it seemed. After the year he had last year, he's trying to bounce back and you know, we don't want none of that badness to come over there, rub off on Shador or whatever. But you know what I mean? Hopefully the good part rub off on him from Shador. So we saw Big Russ, Danger Russ, as he called himself, out there practicing with his teammates. He brought a few teammates, a few wide receivers out there to practice and throw with him out there on the field. So that was good to see. Denver sticking together. The Broncos. Shout out to the Broncos. Shout out to the Nuggets for winning the NBA championship this year, and then Coach Prime stepping in, getting ready to do his thing. They're locked and loaded, ready for a great season to go down in Colorado. Let me know what you guys think about the season. We got Coach Hayes also. You guys saw Coach Hayes. I'll be going on his show this Thursday on Prime Time Talk on Coach Hayes football to talk about Colorado CU Buffs. And we're going to give him the real deal, the real rundown. If you want to ask some questions, he want to know some things, then he's going to bring the right person on, and we're going to talk about some real deal Colorado football. No hose barred. You feel me? Ask me what you want to ask me, and I'm going to give you an answer back. You dig? Shouts out to Shador Sanders, though. In the big news, of course, we saw Nike renewing their partnership with Coach Prime, and Coach Prime, I guess, you know, renewing his partnership with Nike and bringing back the Diamond Turf shoes. And guess who was wearing them today, practicing and working out? If you guys didn't know, now you know. Shador Sanders was out that thing. And I'm talking about this is going to be cold-blooded. Oh, now Jeanette Fox, you loved the video today. What was that? Well off. I have to check it out. I haven't even checked it out yet. But we definitely can bring that up and check that out. So Shador Sanders was wearing these shoes right here, though, today. Working out of these. Classics. The whole team. Coach Prime said, now listen, he said he's trying to get the team in the, well, not trying to get, they will be having the team wearing these shoes right here. But he said, I don't know about everybody wearing them, though. You got to be out there making plays, though. It can't just be everybody wearing them. So, you know, with these things coming back, making a comeback, I'm sure they're not going to wear the red ones. Like I said, it's going to be probably gold right there, or black right there, like the classic ones that Coach Prime wore during the spring game. But, man, you're talking about some cold-blooded. Marcellus, what's happening? Oh, now. Oh, now everybody in the chat, man, make sure y'all show some love, hit some fire emojis, or let me know where you listening in from or something. Let me know what y'all thinking about Coach Prime and Nike getting back together. Like he said, ebony and ivory, baby. We fit together like peanut butter and jelly. We're supposed to be together. So bringing these back, and I think that's going to be a good thing to see the team in these. I know the strap is going to be a little bit longer, like I heard Coach Prime say. So that's going to be something to watch for. Can't wait to see it. Shadura's already practicing. I think these just like the prototypes. Go out there and play them, see what they feel like, see what adjustments we need to make. And I'm sure Nike was like, we need somebody to just, Coach Prime, hey, give them to Shador, dog. Shador, go out there and play in them and see how they feel and let you know some real feedback, because we're going to have him in y'all front office in years to come anyway, baby. It's all about relationships. You feel me? Shores Pet Accommodations. Those are flames, and the black and gold will look even harder. You ain't lying. I'm telling you, that black and gold with the all black jerseys. What? Well off with Russell Wilson and Reach the People Media. Shout out to them, man. Yeah, Russell Wilson showed up today, and he was at the practice. Like I said earlier today, he was at practice throwing with his teammates, just getting things, done, worked out. Coach Prime said he even had the grounds crew make the hash marks longer or wider, should I say, like the NFL as opposed to like the college hash marks. So appreciate everybody up in this thing. We're gonna also check out this well-off media video that he dropped today. So I guess most of you guys already watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
He does all our social media, so
I guess
all the
we
stuff
can't
you've been
watch it.
seeing,
You know what I
that's
mean?
him.
Let me know what y'all
100
think
mil I
about this
needed,
right here.
the glory I needed.
Glory,
I took
yeah, I
L's but
need it.
walked around like I was undefeated.
Make sure we get it back to y'all. All right.
Kicked our ass back
All
in the
right.
day.
Shouts out to Coach Houston. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what y'all thinking,
I got
man.
my rocks off though, so let's not get it twisted.
My rocks off, brother. Bro. Yes, sir. The boys got that work in today, I'm sure, once again. And it's all about dominating the day. Then there you see Russell Wilson coming up in that thing with little Fuchs, baby Fuchs, as they call it, as he calls them. Yeah, no. They put your hash marks out there too, dog. If you're listening in, let me know where you're listening in from. Shouts out to you. I appreciate you. Hit me in them comments. Run them likes up. Run them flames up. Do what you got to do to get it done. Uncle Tube Gaming. Oh, now the diamond gonna be nice in the black ones. Yep. You peeped them on DC page. You the one, bro. Shouts out to crypto. How long before coaches complain about you having access to NFL players? You ain't lying. They complain about each and everything, don't they? The fact that CP and things like this, his own shoes, his experience, top coaches, and bring in other athletes, celebrities, and the kids, pro athletes, has other. Shouts out to New Jersey's, baby. New Jersey in the building. Vegas by way of NY. You already know. Shouts out to you. Elton Newsom, what's up now? Oh, now. Hit me with the oh, now. If you messing with me. Oh, now. That's QB coach right there. So if y'all want to watch the whole thing, of course, y'all go to Well Off page. We'll check out a few things. I want to see the guys working out a little bit. But y'all know them flames are coming. Them Dion, them classic Dions are coming. Or I guess I did watch this already. It's all good, brother. Shouts out to Bossy. Alejandro Mata. Y'all check out Alejandro Mata quick hits also that we did. Here's some of Russell working out right here.
Run outright. Bang. I'm on the move to the right.
That's the GA in the building.
If I say go right, I'm
Well, ain't no surfer boy. UGA, shout out to UGA also. You about it? About it. Russ getting that work in, stepping up. I like that. Man, Fox said, I don't think that the other coaches can tell people who to visit, but they might try. hey, they're getting too much, views and stuff from NFL guys, and nah, man, you can't be hating like that now. They complain because of the super team coaches building. Russ, it was a good thing to just see Russ come out there. He made that trip come out there. I'm sure it wasn't nothing but anything publicity. They didn't have to come play on practice on Focus Field unless something was going on at Denver still. Did I miss anything? Smiley the Beast. Oh, now did I miss anything? Got the Coach Mo getting that work in too. Coach Mo getting that work in too. What other strength and conditioning coaches y'all see getting it in with the players too, man? They setting a new trend. Y'all gonna see this happen in other schools now. Watch. They gonna try to do the same thing. Bruh. They gonna try to do the same thing, man. Y'all can't mimic these guys. Y'all can't mimic these guys. Who is that, Charlie? Or is that, let's see what that was. Shout to Coach Houston once again. Shout to Coach Reyes. Check out Coach Reyes' quick hits. I'm cutting Coach Reyes' quick hits up, and I'm gonna do the rest of the quick hits. I'm gonna cut them up to where you see different titles for different parts of the video. Then I'm gonna drop the whole video. Kind of like Vlad TV does. They don't need to put the whole thing out there. You guys only watching the part of it. I'm gonna talk them up so y'all can watch the subject. Coach Ufa. Coach T. It's good to see them coaches do that though, man. Like I said, word life. But let me know what you guys think about that video. Let me know what y'all think about Russell Wilson being there. Let me know what y'all think about them guys hating on Coach Prime. But y'all already know it's been a motivational Monday today. I hope everybody having a great day. Y'all doing y'all thing out there. Of course, what I can do is share some motivation. Share some motivation from Coach Prime. Herb said 5 wins, my guy. I love the channel though. You say 5 wins? That's it. That's less than what Coach Hayes said. Coach Hayes said 6-6. That's less than what Coach Hayes said. Oh, you coach think he's slick. The best way, hold on. Oh, you coach think he's slick. The best way to stop the media from talking about your poor season is to talk about the biggest thing in college football. Stay focused. That's the guy that said I gave my guys 24 hours, or what it was, I'm sorry, not 20, 12 months. I gave my guys 12 months. You know what I'm saying? Gave my guys 12 months. And I didn't do like Dion did and get them up out there immediately. Then you gave them 12 months and then you went 5-7. What point you trying to prove? You gave him 12 months because you couldn't get nobody as fast as Coach Prime got his. What point are you trying to prove by bringing this man's name up? Coach Prime said, "Man, I hope the media day coming up this weekend don't be one of those days. Of course, I hope the media don't be one of those things where they ask me about other coaches and the coach said this, coach said that, dog. Because I ain't got time for it, dog. I don't want to hear nothing about no other coaches, dog. I ain't got time for it, dog. And I'm all with you, Coach Prime. I wouldn't want to hear nothing about no other coaches either at media day. Ask me about these players I got. I got 5 stars checking in, and y'all ain't even asked me about that. I got the number 1 transfer class checking in, and y'all not asking me about that. I got the real deal Coach Prime effect going on. We got real deal prime time games going on, dog. We got our own cliques. We got new jerseys coming in. We got recruits galore. We got everybody talking about us. The only thing that can't happen, or seemingly can't happen, is me doing a high step and doing my dance on y'all, dog. Because everybody tuning in like I'm going to do my dance and get me a pick. But that ain't what happened. It's all about the kids. And it's all about the kids. So we're going to have them decked up and dripped out and suited up and booted from the toes to from the head to the toes to the floor, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be suited up and draped up and pimped out, whatever you want to call them, on the field in Colorado, Boulder, where it's colder, when they're going down with the Nike uniforms on. Everything going to be all updated. I'm telling you, that first home game, Nebraska, when they're Colorado is coming into that game 1-0. All right, they come into that game 1-0. Surfer Boy is back. Surfer Boy is back. Now I got something to stop you now, but I digress. What you got something to stop now? What you got to comment on now, Surfer Boy, in the comments? Y'all see him in the comments. He like on that Dave Chappelle skit when they say hate, 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 hate. Hate, 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 hate. That's how he clap. The more hate you see, the more applaud he doing, because you know it's going down. They lucky Coach Prime ain't getting no picks and high stepping and putting his hand behind his head. You feel me? They lucky. But Charles Lester III, I think, is going to be coming. Had his son on Clemson team, and he was a bum. Everybody worried about that dude there, man. He one of those little dudes that be on the field. He can't play, but he want to talk smack and just keep getting smashed in the mouth. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt, and then just get smashed again and talk about how much it didn't hurt. Got that little man syndrome, don't he? What's good, Randall Thomas? Oh, now Jonas Little. Oh, now Surfer Boy. Oh, now Elston. Oh, now Herb. Shouts out to you, JK, Jermaine King in the building. Let me see. Nope, 64350. I only stop when I get tired. Bro, these coaches trip me out too. They don't even know that they're making themselves look bad by doubting Prime to get in favor with a recruit that looks up to Prime. Exactly. How you gonna down Coach Prime trying to make yourself look good? The best thing you can do is either praise Coach Prime, say how much a relationship you have with Coach Prime, or don't say nothing at all, dog. Especially you ain't even playing him. You just hating from afar, from the sideline. You one of those you sideline betting. You want to come on, man. Don't like one of those wrestlers that's sitting on the sideline. The wrestler come out the ring and just knock him out. Bow, knock him out, then go back in the ring and keep doing what he's doing. He that dude on the sideline that need to get punched. Straight up. Let me see what Carl Robinson said. Shout out to Carl Robinson. Chico is not about supporters or haters. It's only about wins and losses. I agree. It's all about them dubs and them L's. I agree. And that's what's going to happen. And that's why Coach Prime said he don't want to come to media day and talk about what people said. He want to talk about his players and the dubs and the L's that's going to be coming. Mainly the dubs. Starting off with TCU first. Somebody call TCU and tell them we coming. Coming to Texas. Swinging on them side to side. You feel me? Front, back, and side to side. We coming. Somebody holler at them Texas boys. Much love to the TX though. Shout out to San Angelo and San Antonio. Shouts out to Amarillo, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, Killeen, Texas in the building. Said Chico, have you seen the FSU fans worried about Prime getting Lester? Yeah, they should be worried. Lester, I think Lester is signed, sealed, and delivered. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Man, hold up. Shouts out to them Texas boys. You feel me? Shout out to my boy Big LT up in this thing. Huh? You feel me? Much love to the TX, man. Let me see who else. Prime always refused to get on the plantation. That is long-term hate that started decades ago. You know what I'm saying? It's in him. Nick Cannon said on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, Nick Cannon said, can't no B come up out you if it ain't in you. Can't no hate come up out you if ain't no haters up in you. You dig? Somebody call TCU and tell them boys coming. Y'all don't know what film to watch. We're going to watch some of Kent State. Nope. We ain't doing all that. We're going to watch some Alabama defense. Nope, that ain't all we doing. We're going to watch what Jackson State did. That ain't all we doing. We coming with a mixed pot. It's going to be a gumbo of ass kicking. Did I say ass kicking? It's going to be a gumbo of it. You dig? I'm talking about they mixing in with Coach Pat Shermer with those motions at the wide receiver position. You better study him too. They're going to mix it in with that spread offense of Sean Lewis, that power offense that they can break down and bring it in and bring it inside and match up and go power with Alton McCaskill and Savion, like Le'Veon, the baby battering ram, the road warrior out of Chicago. What? 3-6 Mafia? Yes. So let's talk. Give me some questions. Let me know. Don't worry about them CU Buffs. We coming. That's why I like when someone asks coach about another coach and he say, who is that? Dog, who is that? Dog, I wouldn't know him if he walked in here, dog, and he had his school logo on, dog, and a name tag that said who he is. Dog, I wouldn't know who he is, dog. That's what Prime tell. I wouldn't know who he is. So they keep saying my name, but I don't know who they are, dog. It is no disrespect. It's no disrespect. Don't let my confidence offend you and your, your insecurities. Must be the buffs that's turning them on. You feel me? You know I can't go wrong. Must be the buffies. 85 acres with a mansion on my land. Elson said the hate is balls deep in some of these haters. You feel me? I'm talking about they are, I almost said something. I ain't gonna say that though. I ain't gonna say that though. 100% agree about the wins and losses, and all this little pay talk y'all doing gets real. We will be able to see versus the hype. You ain't lying. Watch me now. Watch. It's going down. I can't wait to see it. JP Richards, let me see. Shout out to Miami, man. 305 in the building. Listen, big dog, it's going to be a gumbo or fruitcake of a season for CU. Oh, I'm going for the gumbo, player. They both made with a lot of ingredients, but one of them ain't no good. You ain't lying about that. But we going that straight New Orleans style gumbo. I'm talking about everything fresh that we putting up in here. Fresh ingredients made by your auntie and is overseen by her mom, the grandma. You feel me? So ain't no mistakes made. Everything going in this gumbo, gonna be A1. Ready to play some ball. Big time dogs. From the top to the bottom. I'm telling you, this is one of those rare situations where a coach had a chance to come in and really, really redo his roster, see his roster, evaluate his roster, and actually redo his roster. And he was able to make it happen. Made from scratch with flour, you dig? Made from scratch with smart, fast, tough, discipline, and guys with character. That character goes a long way. That character gonna be there when they can work on the talent. They can work on the talent and the ball skills and whatever they need to work on. But that character gonna be there regardless, and that's what they're looking for. First off, how many teams lose games because guys just throw a punch or get kicked out or do something wrong off the field, not going to class? You dig? Big LT said first game win is gonna hurt them real bad, especially if they win by 17 points. It could if they don't stay level headed. It could if they go out there and blow them boys out. Then what do I think about JP Richardson? If JP Richardson is not on Colorado roster right now, then I probably don't know about him. I ain't even gonna tell no story. I'm not gonna be up here capping. Oh, JP Richardson is. Put a link or something in this info so I can, or hit me on the DM so I can look him up. Let me see. I look him up right here. He asked me about JP Richardson. I'm not gonna tell you I know about somebody I don't know about him. Let me see about JP Richardson real quick. He is what? Football player, what class? JP Richardson, Oklahoma State. Oh, TC Horn Frogs wide receiver, JP Richardson. Why is he a significant person to worry about? He getting locked down. That's what I think about him. Line him up out there. He getting locked down. You got Travis Hunter and Kamani McLean and a slew of others out there, and you asking me about J.P. Richardson? Look, he asked me about this guy, J.P. Richardson. Is that the guy, John Paul Richardson, you asking me about, dog? When we got dogs on the other side, you asking me about John Paul Richardson, a 6-foot wide receiver out of Missouri, Texas, who I guess he's at TCU now. Shit. He gonna have to be Edelman out there. He gonna be clamped. Ask me about. It don't matter who over there, man. Real talk, or would have been great for coach to have this roster before the spring game to see what they really has. I mean, what can you do? It would be great to have a roster for 3 years and see what they had too. But you got them when you got them. Everybody else got their roster now too. You know what I'm saying? Unless the guys they had left over, but everybody else for the most part has their roster right now. It's time to build. Come what? After next week, I guess. man, it's gonna happen like this. It's time to build, dog. It's time to build. The summertime is for the weights and to mesh together, mold together. That's what they're doing right now in the locker room as we speak. They're meshing, they're molding, and that chemistry is coming together. As the pads come on, you're going to see more of it. It's naturally going to happen. They're going to be ready to play by time game time come around. They're going to be tired of hitting on each other, and they're going to be ready to play when game time come around. I'm not just on here just spitting, talking, same thing over and over again. I'm trying to give you some type of information, facts, what I feel coming from my perspective, and so on. He a TCU wide receiver. We ain't worried about no TCU wide receivers unless they built like Megatron or somebody, Brandon Marshall, somebody in the leagues. You know what I mean? You asked me about a sophomore wide receiver who just transferred from another school, and I don't see that many stats on him. We ain't worried about these guys. Herb Gillespie worried about a UVA brother. Prime going to have this team firing on all cylinders. That's the whole point. That's why he got such a great coaching staff. If he was egotistical, he would have went and just gotten anybody to be on his coaching staff because he feel like he can do it all. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. He went and got real dog coaches also, not just players, but dog coaches who can hold up and even take his criticism, but also hold up and got things to prove also coming from where they're coming from. You feel me? Shout out to the doubters. We need those doubters. Oh, now, Devonta Bentley, of course. Tony the Pieball, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Big Dog Chico really need to peep that TCU roster, my guy. Should I pull it up right now? What you want me to say? Oh, they got some good players. He good. They good. Okay, they good. All right, he good. Man, dang, he got some dogs over there. Yeah, they good too. Yeah. Listen, man. It's, how can I say it? They played well last year. They came off of a 5-7 season, played well last year. And then they lost a lot of guys. And then again, some guys back who played. Back when I played long time ago, long time ago. I remember we went to our first bowl game, right? First bowl game in history. And then the next year we was like, okay, yeah, we definitely gonna be better. We definitely going to another bowl game. It's gonna be a bigger bowl game next year. But what happened? We lost some dogs. We lost Roddy White, first round draft pick. We lost a couple of free agent guys that went to the NFL. And it just wasn't the same team the next year. We didn't reach the bowl. We had a good season, but we didn't reach the bowl. It just wasn't the same team. That's why I feel TCU is. Unless they really, really, really reload it, unless that quarterback is going to play lights out like Duggan, what was his name? Duggan did. If he's not going to play lights out, you got Shedeur Sanders poised and ready to play lights out, who knows what he's looking for. His objective is not just to go in here and play good against TCU and beat TCU. He's looking for Heisman Trophy, dog. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for Heisman Trophy. He's looking for something way bigger. He's looking for the playoffs. Big Dog, do you think they are cutting the coaches to 8 hours a week? Is trying to slow the progress of Prime's teams, specifically since he needs that time? No. That's been a rule since I think like 2014. It's been a rule that the coaches can't spend as much time on the field in the summertime. Even back in the early 2000s, there was a rule where the coaches couldn't be out on the field so much. It was player-led practices and 707s during these time of the year. You know, it's the quarterback organized. Hey, dog, we're going to be out here as soon as practice over with, we're going straight to the field. I bet. And everybody go out there. The quarterback already been meeting. Now, you can meet with your coaches. I think it's like 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week, something like that. So they know a gist of the playbook. They know the plays. They know the sets. It's up to them to get out there and practice these things on their own to get it down before the coaches come out there and do the correcting and this and that and that and the other. I think right now the coaches can be out there while they're working out with weights and such, strength and conditioning for a certain amount of time, but they can't be out on the field directing them during 7-on-7, telling them what to do, what plays to run, how we're going to do it, and such. So it's up to them right now to get this stuff done, to get it down packed, so that when the coaches do come and officially the practice come and they're out there with helmets and shells on and shorts and cleats, they're hitting the ground running. So this is for everybody across the board. It's just the fact that everybody is watching CU via Bucky and Well Off Media and Reach the People and the pregame show and such. They got so many eyeballs on them that it seemed like they're out there on the field way longer than 8 hours. You drinking that Kool-Aid, buddy. Surfer Boy, once again, he's back in the comments and he's saying, but Big Dog, he don't know how that gumbo tastes. It tastes real good. You feel me? Gonna take it with a grain of salt as we shove it in the mouths of these other guys who need a little taste of it. Do your history, Zion, Herb said. Herb, don't need to do anything. UVA is cheeks, and that is the bottom line. That is the bottom line, and I said so. Hey, what's your name? Not about to go back and forth with this clown. All that chemistry talk is overrated. These dudes been together, will have been, about 5 months. Exactly. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. And he said a bunch of backups. Okay. Please make me a moderator. How do I make you a moderator, dog? I got to figure that out. Let me know, and I'll make you a moderator. But as far as these comments go, we don't care about the hater comments. Let them come in. Bring the hate. Bring them all. I'm not going to throw them bows on them. You dig? Let me see what else we got. Coaches better than players, shaking my head. Okay. That wide receiver don't look like he can separate from Trav and Kamar. Exactly. So why y'all asking me about a wide receiver who might have to worry about playing time? You worry about the wrong team, Herb. That's what Big LT said. We got UVA fans in here. It's hilarious. Better be all. Shout out to the VA, man. VA seem to always support me. I don't know. They must know the real. Shouts out to VA. You feel me? 2 up and 2 down. The rise of the Transformers coaches, Optimus Prime. You feel me? Think about all the veteran coaches and head coaches betting their careers on Prime. What do you mean? What do you mean about that? Because, let me see this. Shouts out to Killer Cowboy. Love what you do, Big Dog. I appreciate you, Killer Cowboy. I appreciate all the donations and whatever else that y'all hit me with, man. The likes are free. The hearts on this chat is free. Just chatting with me is free. I appreciate that. If you want to join on, I should have let me hit the invite button. I'm going to put this in the chat right now, as I don't have a call-in number, but what I have is an invite button where you click this invite link right here. Then you could join the show. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. You can just do the audio, and boom, this is better than calling in a number. You can just click that, and now you're on. You already know 85 South, 85% are in the building. Put them in the comments if you're 85%. Put the 85 in the comment if you're 85%. What's up, though, Rob the Man Media, or Rob the Media Man, as as Coach Hayes tried to call you the other day. Shouts out to him. Roja Media for you. I appreciate it, man. I agree with Killer Cowboy. Love what you do. Much love to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys checking in, locking in. If you're driving, pump your brakes and blow your horns and toot your horn, should I say. Shouts out to Bartell, or should I say RIP Bartell. Birmingham, Alabama in the building. I appreciate you guys also, too. If you're a Laker, also like I am, much love to you. Surfer Boy, you scared to talk to the chat or someone you talking only to Chico? Nah, you can go ahead and hit the invite button and get on the chat if you want to say something. Rob the Man, this guy said UVA is going to be better than CU this year. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Bitch. If you think UVA, brother, is going to be better than the CU Buffs, man, you got another thing coming, man. You got another thing coming, man. T. Lottie. Appreciate you, man. T. Lottie, that's my first dub right there. This is my first dub. This is my first time starting getting these, what you call them, donations? Donation. I thought it was a trash can. Don't be hitting on me, Clarence. You tall black. But I thought it was a, I didn't know you could donate like this. I appreciate you guys, man, for donating, doing like that. But if you missed the start of the show, we talked about Russell Wilson going to CU to work out. And then we talked about the one and only Shador Sanders wearing the Nikes that Coach Prime them just started to revamp. You know those things gonna be cold blooded. To see the whole team wearing those. And guess what? The uniforms. Whew. The uniforms. Y'all see these black uniforms right here? Now with the uniforms, they're gonna have you see under the arm right here on the side, and then down the line, down the side of the pants where the towel is, and then under the arm, right up in that area. That's gonna be, I can almost guarantee you, that's gonna be something other than just black. They probably gonna have like the mountain range or those gold stripes or something that look like the flat irons or something like that. But I'll tell you what would be even colder. If they did like the CU logo and made it look like the Louis V print, you know how they had a bunch of Louis V all over them? Man, if they made something like the designer uniforms, boy, they'll be killing. Designer uniforms, Coach Prime will be the first one with them, other than like the little league teams I've seen down in the country somewhere, but that really didn't look right. But Coach Prime with some designer type uniforms, what? What? Big LT, you see, he switched from UVA to ODU. Stop making me feel bad, he said. Much love to you guys. I appreciate it. Crystal, what's happening? OFU. Oh, now, Zion, what you got to say today? Zion said, I had those red and white primes back in high school. Yep. You was the man at one point if you had those. You were the man if you had those. Shoot. I hope my Wi-Fi is still good because it looks like it's going down. Okay, there we go. But you were the man if you had those. Herb said they don't have an all-star roster. You guys are smoking that loud pack. Big LT said, no, he's smoking that loud pack. They smoking on some of that midget. Oh, excuse me. They smoking on some of that little bit. Don't we got two of their players, TCU? I'm not sure. I know we got a guy from Baylor checking in with Jalen Ellis, the wide receiver. He should be in there right now as we speaking. Prime said they outdid Oregon. That Oregon game. Let's talk about the Oregon game real quick. And the only thing I really need to know about that, or that I do know about Oregon, and is they have Bo Nix as the quarterback. And I'm from a place called Alabama where they have Auburn and Alabama as the main things. You feel me? And Bo Nix once played at Auburn. You feel me? Where he stunk it up like hot trash on a hot day down in New Orleans somewhere. I'm talking about where it's real hot and stinking. You feel me? He stunk it up and then ended up transferring, I think, with the offensive coordinator or coach or something, going out there to Oregon and then winning some games. Now everybody think he's naive. Not me. I think he's going to be exposed by Coach Charles Kelly and that Alabama defense, the way that he was exposed down in Auburn. They need to win some games first before designing uni. Surfer Boy said, man, we ain't worried about that, man. Let me see here. Tina Patterson said, ATX in the building. Shout out to Austin, Texas, man. 23. My husband big mad because I follow everything Coach Prime and CU football after him trying to get me to watch football for 41 years. And now you watching Coach Prime, man. That's what's up. Much love to you. Much love to you. Look like we got Rob the Man checking in. Let's see what Rob the Man got to talk about right quick, y'all. Rob the Man, what's
happening? Big Dog Chico.
Big Dog Chico show. What's up? What you got going on, man, out there in Colorado?
Man, it's been a long day, man. I just jumped on late, but man, who is this dude Herb, man? What are you talking about, man? What's going on?
Let me see what Herb just said. Herb said smoking on that prime pack after the TCU game. Oh, okay, Herb. Me or you, big man? You say you smoking on that prime pack. We gonna see.
Ain't no way UVA is gonna be better than Colorado, man. I don't know what this dude on, man, but you gotta find something else to do, man. Troll somebody else, man. That's the wrong thing to be trolling with.
You come here talking about UVA? Talking about where's UVA?
Ain't that who he's talking about? Didn't he say UVA was better than Colorado? Or am I tripping?
That's what he said. What that blood clot you talk about, boy? Are you crazy? Bo Nix is overrated, of course. we will win at least 2 of the first 3. My thing was I was giving a prediction the other day, and I said I gave a scenario. I said think
Okay.
about this, and since Rob the Man's on, maybe he can give us some feedback right quick. I said think about this. This is where I think it's going. I'm not giving predictions, but I will give scenarios. And watch this, guys. They're going into we were talking about Shedeur Sanders and Heisman,
Okay.
and we were saying TCU first game, Shedeur Sanders coming in, and the whole team coming in versus TCU in Texas. How could that play out? How could it play out positive for Colorado? I say for one, Texas could have, or TCU could have a lot of talent, but they don't know what to really prepare for when Colorado's coming in. So they're a little bit behind. They're kind of over prepared, trying to prepare for multiple offensive coordinators because you got Pat Sherman coming in from the NFL, Sean Lewis, defensive coordinator. Then you also got Dennis Thurman, who's defensive coordinator for Jackson State and Coach Prime last year. So you're watching some of his tape too, but they might be just overwhelmed, and the guys are not playing as fast as they should because of they're putting in so much things, and they're saying if they do this, you got to do that, and they're just a step too slow. Shedeur and the offense comes out bombing away first quarter, and they go up big, and Shedeur Sanders putting up numbers. Let's say the first few games he's putting up those same type numbers that he put up at Jackson State, and now
Okay.
here comes USC. Here comes USC and Caleb Williams, and it's a showdown. Whether Colorado is undefeated right now or they've lost one game, but Shedeur Sanders' stats is up there, and then they're going in a duel with Caleb Williams, who's been in a battle himself throughout the season. Now he's knowing he's going against Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders. He knows there's a lot of hype, but he comes in pressing maybe a little bit too much. He tries to overdo it, and they end up losing the game. Big defensive day by Colorado, getting sacks, forcing fumbles because Caleb is trying to scramble outside the pocket. He can't do what he expected to do like he did last year. They lose. Shedeur Sanders plays well. Is Shedeur Sanders not in the Heisman talk then?
He has to be. What do you mean? I mean, that's a no-brainer because
He
it's going
has to be.
that game is going to decide the Heisman right there. Like the first half of the season, once we get to the USC game, Imano versus Imano, that's going to play a big part in the voting process when it comes to the end of the season for the Heisman. There's just no other way to look at it.
And that's the deal. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I was saying with Coach Hayes. Excuse me. That's what I was saying with Coach Hayes. And he was asking, what if this and what if that? Well, I'm saying, okay, well, what if this then?
Yeah.
You know, and people saying that he's not on anybody's preseason list. Well, that's on them. And
That's
if
just motivation.
and if it's based off what they did last year, man, he still played football last year, albeit in a different conference or whatever you want to say, division, whatever. He still balled out. He still played ball. And that's what the whole point of it is. I don't care where he played at, is what he did in those numbers. If you put those same numbers up, he should be in a Heisman conversation, as he was only one of 3 quarterbacks to do what he did last year. The other 2, Caleb Williams, and the other one got drafted, CJ Stroud out of Houston, Texas. So he's
Honestly,
done what he needs to do.
Honestly, I don't think Caleb Williams is gonna put up the same numbers. To be honest with you, he's gonna get close, but I think he's gonna dip a little bit this year, just because people have the tape on him. And if you turn on that film when he played against the last game, dang, I'm blanking on the team. But the last game they played, right? You got the recipe on Caleb Williams. Even though he wasn't fully healthy, you got the recipe, right? If you get up and jam them receivers, they can't get off the jam. If you get up and be physical USC, it's a different ball game. You know, a lot of those teams in the Pac-12 last year, they couldn't match up with USC because they didn't know what to expect because it was Lincoln Riley's first year at USC. Like you knew he was gonna be up tempo, but you didn't know like how many true weapons they had. Now this year, the target's on USC back even more this year than it was last year. So people are going to come and knock their head loose. So be ready.
Well, shouts out to Hustle Montana. I appreciate the 50 dog, the 50 piece. But I need to have some something going crazy right now. Shout out to Hustle Montana, man. You already know Speed Hustle in the building. Hustle Montana, $49.99. Hit me with that 50 piece, man. Much love to you, man. I appreciate you guys joining in and listening in on the show. Rob the Man Media in the building. And we just got a call in from Tony, the pod boss. What you got going on, Tony, the pod boss? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you on live. What's happening?
All right, cool. No, man, I definitely agree with you. I feel like, man, I love when you and Coach Hayes was on and talking ball, like real ball that actually makes sense. And I think it was important for you to be on there to kind of enlighten him and talk football. And there ain't nothing against life and football or anything like that, but he just wasn't talking football. And I feel like when you started talking numbers, when you started talking schemes, just certain stuff that makes sense to kind of enlighten him, I think that might have brought him around just a little bit more. But I think it's important for people to hear that from you when you talk about a guy like, Shador Sanders, who could have competed, in Power 5. People forget he was a 4-star recruit.
Right.
He was recruited by a lot of these schools. He can't control who his receivers and who the DBs are. At the end of the day, his job is just to find the open man to be accurate, get the ball out on time, and he showed he can do that. I think when a lot of teams when they recruit, when they draft quarterbacks, when you look at a lot of these FCS quarterbacks that have gotten drafted, they didn't care whether or not it was FCS versus FBS, Power 5 versus Group of 5. It
Right.
was how does he respond under pressure? You can't control who the receivers and DBs out there because at the end of the day, whether you playing FCS or Power 5, the level is always going to be up as far as competition goes, but it doesn't really change for the quarterback that much. He still has to make the same reads, understand what he's doing out there, not fold when he gets hit. So
Thank
I think he's
you.
definitely going to surprise a lot of people.
Thank you. You probably even said it a little bit better than what I've said. I'm going to use that too because that's the truth. It changes a lot for a lot of other positions, especially physically. The guys who are having to go through, especially on the lines and stuff like that. But at quarterback, you still doing what a quarterback does. You still got to make the plays, the reads, the throws, and so on. It's still the same thing, especially if you've been going and you've been playing at a high speed anyway. It's just that everybody else now around you is stepping up a little bit in talent and their level. So the speed of the game, yeah, might be, a little bit faster, but it's going to be the same thing, the same counts, the same numbers in Shador Sanders' head. He's going to have to get rid of that ball within 3-4 seconds anyway. 4 is going to be long anyway. They're going to be getting rid of that ball 2-3 seconds. It's bam out of there. Read, they come up, we passing. They stay back, we running. They're going to be hitting them with that all day. So Tony, I appreciate, man, your words in the beginning, what you said. If you guys want to listen to more of me, myself, and Coach Hayes, we will be on Thursday talking primetime talk on his channel. Thursday, I think I'll be able to broadcast it on mine too. If not, of course, I'll have the replay on my channel also. But we will be talking, like he said, we'll be talking football, man. We're talking real football on that channel. So much love to you, Tony Pop Balls. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I just wanted to say a little bit more as far as, Colorado and the TCU thing. I think
Yeah,
people are forgetting before Sonny Dykes got there, TCU was 5-7, 6-4, 5-7. Like
right.
only difference between them and that 1-11 Colorado team was 4 wins at the end of the day. Like they weren't anything too crazy, and I think people forget that their recruiting classes weren't anything too crazy. Sonny Dykes came
Right.
there with a plan. He went in that transfer portal just like Coach Prime did. He had a decent recruiting class, and he turned that thing around. I think what Coach Prime did was something bigger. People can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, they were a 1-11 team. The recruiting classes behind that were, suspect. So he had to get, some, SEC caliber linemen, into the fold. He had to get some hell of athletes like a Jimmy Horn, a Weaver, Javon. Like he had to get decent receivers out there. So I think they're really going to shock a lot of people because they really don't know what they have, and I see a lot of lazy, reporting on the team, and they ain't really going into detail, as far as what they have, and the fact that Coach Prime them. A lot of people aren't talking about it, but they had a war room set up, transfer portal war room similar to an NFL draft. They got the players that they wanted that fit their scheme. They didn't care about the national meter, 4 and 5 stars, because we know most teams are really made up of 3 stars. They didn't care about that stuff. They found players
Exactly.
that work perfectly for their scheme,
Right.
and they're gonna shock a lot of people. But yeah, that's all I had, big dog. I just wanted to share that. I love when you talk football. Definitely gonna continue to support, man. Keep it up for sure.
Man, much love. I really appreciate it, man. We definitely gonna keep talking football on this and bring you guys some more Colorado insights and info. I appreciate you once again. Anytime join on. All right, I appreciate it.
For sure.
All right, but yeah,
Hey,
that's the move, man. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, Big Dog, I think one of the things that like most people forget about is how smart Shador Sanders really is when it comes to
Right.
checking in and out of plays. Like people forget about like just that aspect of the game of like being able to know when to check into a run play, when to check into a pass play. That's going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see out of Colorado this year. When they quarterback played last year, they didn't understand, what they were doing out there because they were changing schemes every week in, week out. Different coaches coming in week in, week out, where it's going to be more consistency in the coaching style, but they're going to give Shador Sanders more access to checking the plays that he feel comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna, that's definitely a step up from what they've had previously in the past. Shador Sanders is like a coach out there on the field, able to recognize. But a good thing with this offense also is it's going to be built-in reads. It's going to be
Yep.
reads after the snap, so to speak. It's going to be reads once that ball is snapped. He's going to be still making reads on the linebackers, whether they're coming up or dropping back too deep. So I'm excited to see that coming up real soon. Also, let's see here some of these other comments. I'm trying not to read the comments so much while I'm making a statement, but looking forward in just speaking about the big guys. I saw a question up here that said, "Who are the other first round picks on the team other than Travis?" I mean, I think there's some guys who can play their way in the first round, but just looking at the roster, saying I think they've brought in some guys who definitely have first round talent.
Yeah. Honestly, it's
Speaking of,
too early. It's too early to tell, man. There's so much football that has to be played.
they got to play a
Where
lot of football. Like I said, they could play their way in the first round right now, but you still got a lot of football to be played. One thing Tony did say was that Coach Prime brought in, kind of probably did what Sonny Dykes did, but did it in a vamped up way, times 10 maybe, because he could bring in so many players this offseason that can build up his program. He wasn't really looking at the stars. He was looking at the
yeah,
fit for his program and what he can project those guys to do, and also the mentality of these players. And like he said, he's looking for certain guys on the offensive line. He want them to have want to be a 2-parent household, and want the guy to be close with his father. A lot of people look at that, man. That's what is it? A discrimination or something? Or no, but it's not. It's really, if I think about it, the linemen that I played with, a lot of them fit that mold, like Coach Prime
yeah.
said.
But see,
So
the thing about it is, Big Dog, is that most people scared to say it, and Coach Prime just came out and said it.
yeah,
It was
exactly.
just he was really honest, and sometimes, man, when you're so honest with people, people gotta hate you for that because it's
Right.
like you're being real with them, and they couldn't take the realness of Coach Prime, and that's what come with the territory, just being honest. Like, hey, he telling you what he wants, so if it ain't that, don't even come looking his way because can't do nothing for you.
Jermaine, you said don't forget about that straight to my feet Hammer Coach Prime reaction video. All right, I got to get it in. I got to get it in. I might need to get it in during this live if we can. I don't want to get copyrighted though, but hold on. Let me see. Brendan Armstrong, he threw 12 interceptions and 7 TDs. Chad Griffin, go check his final list, bro. FAU before JSU gave Coach Prime his opportunity to coach. Yeah, and listen, FAU, y'all saying like it's a shot at FAU. That wasn't. I think they're talking about Shador Sanders and who he had the chance to go to. Shador could have went anywhere. He was recruited by Alabama and all of the top schools.
I think that conversation happened on Coach Hayes' show because Coach Hayes was challenging why would Shador want to go to FAU over the Georgias, the Alabamas, things like that if he had offers from there. So that's where
It's
that conversation stems from.
well, it's about relationships. You got to look
Yeah,
who was FAU's coach at the time when
Willie
Shador was
Taggart.
coming out. Who was that?
Willie Taggart,
And who was Willie Taggart? That's
one of
Coach
Coach
Prime
Prime's closest
dog.
friends.
That's
Yeah,
his. Yeah. So Coach Prime wasn't just going to send him to anywhere. He wasn't just going to send them to to a big school just because it's a big school, and then he go sit on the bench because he's playing behind this other guy. Why? I'm gonna send him to a guy where I know he's gonna play right now, or at least have a chance to play right now. But I know my son. I know what he is. I know he's capable of. And if anybody know, then they know that he's a dog. They'll see that he's a dog, and he will be playing his freshman year. But then things happen with Willie Taggart, I think, to where he got fired or kicked out or whatever. And he was like, hey, right around that time, his manager, Constant Source, who worked with Smack Entertainment, um, presented him with the idea also that I'm sure Coach Prime was thinking of. And then Jackson State AD called him and say, man, if you want to coach, shoot, we got something for you. Coach Prime went to another HBCU and said, hey, I'm going to get my degree here because I need a degree to coach on a college level. That's what he did. HBCUs looked out, made sure he got his degree in the way he had to get his degree. And next thing you know, he's the coach at Jackson State. What do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to do? Especially in the climate that the world was in at the time, with all the things with the racial stuff and the cops and the black people and killing black folks and all this other stuff. Everything just shaped up at the right time for him to go there and put that spotlight on HBCU as a whole, not just football, but as a whole. And then it created, probably inadvertently, an opportunity bigger for himself. I'm sure he didn't realize or anticipate the type of tidal wave he caused in sports and in HBCU football. He probably thought it was going to be some, but I'm sure he didn't think it was going to be as big as what it is. And then that created opportunity for him in Power 5. Ended up at Colorado with Coach AD Rick George. And now we have what we have with Shedeur Sanders, with still 2 years left to prove what he can do in football, to where he can set himself up to be a top 5 draft pick, I think. Shouts out to Big LT. We got him just called in. What you got to say, Big LT, coming in from Texas, man? What's happening?
What up,
What's
Big
going on, brother?
LT, baby?
What's going on, Ron? Doing all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Rob the man and Big LT on the call. What's happening?
Oh man, just join the conversation. Y'all talking about Shedeur.
Yeah.
And, if Shedor's if he's eligible to get drafted, man, and NFL scouts are looking at Shedeur, that should be enough said right there.
Right. And then with Coach Sherman coming in, another NFL guy. I think Coach Prime is bringing in a lot of these NFL guys, man. It's all about relationships once again. We're back to that word again, relationships. And if Shermer is there, respected offensive mind in the NFL, if he's there, he can vouch for Shedeur long term. Same way with Brady and whoever else comes in contact with him, Russell Wilson, whoever else, NFL wise, especially coaches. Yes, it's very smart. They're going to be vouching for him, talk about how the ball spins off his hands. He's getting scouted and recruited right now,
in-house.
In-house. So I think that's big time right there. I think that's opening up new avenues for his son. He's doing the best he's supposed to do, like he said he want to do for his kids, man. We got another caller coming in. This is Big Hustle Montana. I appreciate the donation, Hustle Montana. What's happening with you?
Man, what's going on, y'all? Y'all all right?
Yeah, we
What's
good.
going on, Kenpo?
You on live.
What's going on, Kenpo? Hustle Montana?
Nah, ain't nothing much. Hey, let me ask y'all this stuff.
Yo.
As far as Shedeur stats and everything like that, what kind of season y'all think he gonna have realistically?
Realistically, I'll go first on this. I think he is capable right now of having the same exact type season he had last year, because he has better weapons. He has a even more of a pass happy offense than he had last year. Now you asking about numbers now. You're asking about numbers. About 40 touchdowns, 6 picks I think he had last year, over 3,300 yards last year. I think those yards going to be there. Those touchdowns going to be there. It's just whether he's going to keep his interceptions as low as he did at Jackson State. People might say because he's playing against better talent, those interceptions might rise a little bit. Could be here and there, but I still think that production is going to be there. He's still going to have those yards and still going to have those TDs. And what is the single season record for CU Buffs football? He might break that, because I'm sure they didn't come from a pass happy offense like they're about to present on the table now. I'm sure they in their winning seasons, it's been because of running. So Yeah, I think he's going to have those 35, 3,300 yards, 35, 40 plus touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm predicting about. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good, man. What you about to say?
And
No,
then
I say
Server Boy, real quick, Server Boy just said, "Oh, now big dog." Then wide receivers he had at JSU were elite, so that's now true, bro. But the wide receiver he has now are elite. If you want to ask me right now, will I take without seeing him play a game, Javon Antonio or the top receiver from JSU last year? Who was that? Shane Hooks. I'm
Shane
taking
Hooks.
Antonio. I think he
Most
has a higher
definitely.
upside. I'm sorry. Shout out to Shane Hooks. I hope he does his thing at Auburn, but I'm gonna take Antonio. I think he's faster and maybe even more physical also. So I'm gonna take him. And you can go down the list. He got
And he
Travis.
can
He
hold
got
on to the ball.
and he also fumbles on the run after catch. Hopefully he improved that. So no shade at him, but we just talking about straight football, and that's how I would evaluate him. And I'll take Javon Antonio right now. So I think his wide receivers he's stacked with right now are a lot better than what he had at JSU.
Yeah, the receiver's a lot faster, bigger, stronger, faster, more explosive. Can get off the release at Colorado versus JSU. So I definitely agree with that point. When it goes to Shador, I'm projecting 3,700 plus yards, over 45 plus TDs. I just see him elevating this year just because he got 45. I,
Boy.
You said 4,500 yards?
no, 45 TDs.
Oh, 45 TDs.
Yeah,
Hey, that's
I,
big numbers, man. Them big
I just
numbers. And
I
that
just see
put him
him
definitely in
elevating.
the Heisman, and he should be
Yeah.
sitting out in New York with that.
I just see him elevating because the weapons got even better, right? So,
Right.
if you're getting better weapons, you should be able to elevate your game to an even higher level. And with some of these defenses that they're gonna play, Shador is gonna get 5 to 6 touchdowns on some of these teams.
Right.
So you gotta take that into account. But then some teams he's gonna have like two or three, So it's just some games he's just gonna go crazy. So it's just take advantage of those games where you're beating up on the opponent That's why I project the 45 touchdowns.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it happen. I think that's on the high side, but I really think it could happen because I think that's what the offense is going to be geared towards, trying to put up a lot of points, run a lot of plays. So that's only going to give more opportunities for Shador. As long as they have that ball in their hand, it's going to be there. You know.
Now, now keep in mind with the 45 touchdowns, I'm combining his rushing and passing together. So that's why I
Yeah.
said 45 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So where you got him? So you got 45 total. So how
Yeah,
many of them are arrested? Because Short don't run like that. He running when he needs to.
What he had
And
like six rushing touchdowns last year.
that's
and,
kind of what I'm
Yeah,
No,
projecting.
no, I'm
shit.
sorry,
and,
six total
That's
both
kind of
years.
what I'm projecting this year for him to have the 6 rushing touchdowns again this year.
Cause my real prediction for Shador, just being real, is probably having a season more like what Cam Ward had. Cause Cam Ward came from FCS and threw for about 3,300 yards, 3,500 yards, 27 touchdowns, and like 6 picks.
But
And his
what are their physical attributes comparative to each other? What type of player is he compared to Shador? What is his mindset? What was his weapons around him? You know,
Right.
I mean,
that's what I'm thinking of.
it's about around the same. Because even
No.
even the year before he went to Washington State, when he was at Incarnate Word, he put up 4,500 yards, 47 touchdowns, and think it was right at 10 picks, 7 picks, something
Mm.
like that. So I think Store's still gonna have a great season. I just think with a new offense and still getting new weapons, I think just the offense and everything gonna struggle a little bit. First of all, I'm not comparing to Cam Ward or whatever stuff like that. I'm just saying the
Yeah,
stats in there.
yeah,
But
yep.
I just think with the new offense and new weapons, I just think it's gonna take a while for him to get going. Still think he have a good season though
What
overall.
defense in the Pac-12 does Shador really have to worry about?
You got Utah. I think honestly, USC defense is gonna be better than what most people think. Honestly,
USC
They're
and
gonna be a little
Utah.
bit better.
I can
Just a
call
little
out
bit.
off the top. USC, Utah,
Washington,
maybe
Washington, Washington has
Washington,
Washington.
They don't
pass
play
rush.
They don't
Washington.
play
They don't
They
play
don't play
Washington.
They
Washington.
don't
Play
play
They play
Washington.
Washington.
Washington
Yep,
State.
I
yep.
think Oregon State has a decent
Those are
defense.
only. That's only. It's only teams are gonna have the good defense this year. It's gonna be Oregon State, maybe USC, Utah, and
Oregon.
yeah, Oregon. Just a little bit though. Oregon give up a whole lot of points. Them in North Carolina was putting up 50, 60 points on each other, man. That ain't no defense.
USC give up a lot of points if you can score.
Yeah, but they ain't running. That's why when they don't make it to the playoffs, so they make it to when they play the bowl games against a defense a real solid defense. You know what I mean? They can't put up all them points like that, man.
And how many
They get
defensive
hit in the mouth.
coordinators are in the Pac-12 that's coming from an SEC school or is coming with the SEC mentality like Coach Charles Kelly?
And that's what I'm saying. I think CU defense is going to be a little bit better than people think they're going to be, man. I think if CU get about 17 points, it might mess around and be a done deal.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what I
it'll be
mean?
a good deal.
And on that quarterback stuff y'all talking about, I think Shador gonna throw for about like he said about 4,000 yards too. He gonna break Colorado's quarterback single season passing record and single season
Yards
touchdown
record.
record. I think about 45 touchdowns too, fam. 40 to 45 because like you said, he got way more weapons than he had in the SWAC. Better offensive line, bigger and better offensive line.
Right.
Bigger and better offensive coordinator, bigger and better. Everything is better. The facility is better. He's even got himself bigger physically, himself, mentally. He got the new coach that he just hired there, and just the stuff they've been able to put around Shador is going to make him a whole lot better player, man. And the competition that he's going to face on defense every other day, man. Come on, hey man. All right, y'all keep playing when he gonna have them, like he said, he gonna have them 5, 6 touchdown games on them trash teams like Arizona State. You know what I'm talking about? And he gonna have games he struggle. You know, USC, maybe Oregon. You know what I mean? Whoever else that's going.
His struggle games. I think his quote unquote struggle games are going to be 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Still, you know, because
guess who's gonna be hot when that passing game week though? That's that run game. That's what's gonna elevate Shador. It's that run game.
My whole thing. That's my whole thing when I was talking about as far as when y'all said that many touchdowns for Shador. Still gonna have a great season. I just think it's gonna be more of a balanced offense to where he's not throwing that many touchdowns like that in the run game. So when he does have those games where he is struggling, you got a backfield like that, so you got multiple different weapons to where you're not having to rely on Shador Sanders the whole time and everything.
Yeah.
Even last year, Shador has like almost between like 5 to 10 touchdowns that got took away from at JSU for penalties. Talk about big play touchdowns.
Yeah.
They're gonna execute them at Colorado. So that's why, I keep that in mind. Like, I don't think they're gonna have those penalties that they had at JSU, those big time penalties where they're hitting on bombs to Jimmy, to the other different receivers with their 4.3 speed, 4.2 speed.
Right, and they got a lot of receivers who can make those plays after the catch too. So a lot of these, short balls that just might be a dink a dunk, boom, it could be breaking for long ones. That's a touchdown, goes to Shador also.
Way more explosive than the wide receiver they had at Jackson State.
Right.
No offense to
top
them
to
guys.
bottom. Yeah, no offense, but top to bottom.
No offense.
Surfer boy, of course. While y'all putting this team on the ceiling, y'all not giving them any room to grow. Well, I think we are giving them room to grow, but we also know what they're loaded with.
Yeah, we not saying that they finna go 12-0, fam.
No.
We just saying that Prime has put together selectively a very good team, man. That's what we saying, bro. Like, these are very good players and hungry players that Prime then put together, and we think they're and yeah, we putting them on a certain type of sentiment. That's the type of players that Prime get, bro. This is deal. Hey, y'all must have watched Jackson State games last year and stuff, man. That's what it seemed like to me. Y'all didn't watch when Southern when they in 2021 when they went into Southern and stuff, man.
Oh, but
come on, man. It's a different type of. I mean, when he get them ballers, man, he get them ballers, baby.
Right. Every position, mainly every position is competition. There is competition everywhere across the board. I saw someone ask me my top or my starters in the defensive backfield. I guess everybody else can give theirs also. I'll go real quick. If we only doing 4, let's make it easy for everybody. We're gonna do 5. So we'll do a left corner, a right corner, free safety, strong safety, and then we'll go a star or a nickel back, whichever one you want to put there. So I'm going to go real quick, and I'm going to go, let's say Travis Hunter. I'm going to say, and I got to stick with what I said earlier. So I got to say Kamani McLean. You feel me? So Kamani's out there. And then my nickel or my star would be Jaquez Robinson or either Amari Cooper. So I got to make a decision. And I have to see whichever one of them. I just toss it up. Whichever one of them, it'll be them. At safety, I'm going Shiloh and I'm going Rod Ward. You feel me? As we add on another one, Tony the Pod Balls coming back up in this thing as we add on another one. Who's going to be next to give us our starters?
I'll go. So I'm definitely going Travis. That's like hands down. My second one is after the first game, because I already know how I feel about the first game. It's between Cooper and Cormani. And then my safeties, I got Rod Ward and Shador. And then my rover star position, I got Jack Corres. Just because of the experience from Alabama and him knowing Kelly.
So pretty much same one, right? That's same defense pretty much. With Shiloh back there at the safety. All right. Where you at, Big LT?
I got Travis J, Shiloh back there at safety.
Wait. Travis J gonna start first game?
If he healthy, yep. I'll put him out there, man. Just because that his physical presence back there is gonna cause a issue. It's just gonna look scary. You hear me? It's gonna look scary back there. That gold mouth gator sitting back there in the back yonder with them dreads hanging off him back yonder. Hey man.
Gonna be a show to see, baby.
What they think the women better grab their purses, the men better grab their wallet. He look like he about ready to come over there and get some.
Take some.
Hey, but and then corners, of course, Travis Hunter and Kamari. And then in my slot down there, the nickel is either gonna be it's gonna be a excuse me, it's gonna be a I guess interchangeable between Cameron Simmons Craig and Ward.
Okay. Yep. I like
ain't
that.
No Travis Woods
out
there. Let me stop playing with you. I'm just joking.
Nah, Travis Woods gonna get some PT. He can sub in. He gonna sub in with Trevor. Him and Trevor gonna sub. Trevor and Trav.
You know it's always a joke about that, man.
I like Trevor Woods, man. You need Trevor Woods there because he's one of them core pieces that was originally there. There.
That might in the box only, bro. No coverage whatsoever.
You feel me? Go ahead, Hustle. Yeah. What you got?
I got Travis, of course. Then probably either Kamani or Marion. And then for safeties, if Travis, like I agree with Big LT, if Travis J healthy, I feel like he'll start. And then my second, I have to go. I really like Roger Ward, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as nickel, I probably have to agree, probably like Jaquez, just because he's linked.
Right. A lot of people liking the same guys, pretty much. What you got, Tony the Pie Boss?
Yeah, so I got Travis at 1. I got Kamani at 2. He didn't come all the way up here to not start the first game.
Right.
I got obviously Shiloh at the the strong safety. I actually got Trevor Woods at that free safety. I just think he got elite ball skills. People can say he was on the 111 team all you want, but at the end of the day, you still back that by yourself. And he's in the the Pac-12 where they throw a lot, and he did pretty good back there. He actually won them that game against Cal.
Okay.
And at that rover position, I actually think it'll be Marion Cooper. I think he could play a little bit of safety and corner. It was rumored that that's kind of why he wanted to leave, because they only wanted him to play safety and he wanted to play corner. So I think he can do, he's interchangeable. He can do a little bit of both. Right. So I think he'll, be fit there.
I like that. I like everybody's lineup right there. I like y'all reasoning also. Makes sense to me. So that's the defensive backs right there. We got a lot of guys not mentioned, but I think they're going to be putting up a lot of competition also. Vito Tisdale out of Kentucky. Ben Finneceft, another returner. You got Jalen Milliner-Jones coming out of DeSoto, Texas. You go on and on. You got
Cameron.
of course, Cameron Silman Craig back there putting up a fight. I'm sure some guys I'm missing right now at the top of my head, but shout out to Namir Robinson. I'm not sure what position he's actually playing, whether it's going to be corner or safety back there. But he's an athletic guy also, maybe a little bit undersized, as they say. But I think once those pads come on, he might be somebody to watch also. So
I think a sleeper.
Also,
sleeper.
Also.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think a sleeper person that's on the defense that they might move around is Carter Stoudemire.
Carter Stoudemire, yep.
I think they're gonna move him around because his physical, his size, he can match up with them tight ends too. Also, that they're gonna move him around too.
Yeah, I think he'll be good on the tight end.
I like that.
Yeah, big physical cornerback.
But I ain't gonna let him off the hook though, man.
Yeah.
How long you think Trevor Woods gonna hold that safety spot, man?
If he's at safety,
he ain't got it now.
How long you think he? By game 3? How long you gonna think he gonna hold?
Coach never be rotating by series out there. Whoever get hot, you feel me?
Man.
Honestly, dog, I see if you watch him, you're gonna see in
red zone. He gonna have to be in the red zone.
As long as you ain't putting Trevor Woods back there in space, I'm good.
Yeah, I've seen him get turned around in space by some running backs and receivers also. Even though he plays well, but I've seen him just in the agility department not be
he ain't his hips ain't loose enough. He ain't got a
good player, man. Hard-nosed player, dog. I'm not down with him at all.
20 yards in the end only, the end zone. Is it? He ain't playing
I'm putting Trevor Woods in goal line situations. I'm putting him in. Go. Just go knock his hand off.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't seen anything he's done that has taken him away from that spot. Obviously, nobody really has a starting spot right now.
Right.
But I think they just like a lot of his intangibles. I think, like he has elite ball skills. I think a lot of times, like you can coach people up on stuff, but you just can't coach instincts when the ball is in the air. And there's a lot.
How many picks did he have this year?
But that's Miles Slusher. He had a lot of PBAs.
Yeah, I was about
to say
Miles
Slusher's issue. That was Miles Slusher's issue. He's not a instinctual safety. He's a hitter, but he's not an instinctual safety. You already got your hitter in Shiloh, so it's like at the end of the day, you need somebody that's gonna go after the ball. And
that's why you can't put Trevor and Shiloh back there at the same time because they both just want to hit.
Yeah, Travis Jay is a hitter.
Right.
That's why you need to
down.
I think
How many interceptions did Trevor Woods had last year?
Oh, I think the leader on the team last year had 2, and that was Nico Reed.
Yeah.
So he had 1 or 2. He didn't have no more than 2.
Well, he missed a lot of opportunities then. If he got such great ball skills.
And
but you gotta also keep
throwing lead.
You gotta also keep in mind, defensive backs only go as far as your D line is gonna go. If you ain't getting pressure, if you ain't getting back there, they can only hold
the defensive line go, man. They throwing it on the defense 1,000 times.
Man, this is Pac-12. They throwing like crazy, and you got to get pressure as well. And they ain't coming off the field. Everything is hurry. That's why they brought a guy in like what's his name, Coach Sal. Notice Coach Sal ain't looking for a guy that's over 300 pounds. He's looking for somebody that's around that 300 range. That's like a 3-tech. They're gonna play everywhere, and he wants you to go get the quarterback. He don't want you to do a sit in that hole. He don't want you to do a stop and hold or any of that. He wants you to go after the quarterback. Those are the type of pass rushers he need around him to actually see him flourish. As a DB. A DB can only do so much back there by itself. You need actual 4 guys rushing back there. Putting some type of pressure on the quarterback. You can only do so much.
Well, I think what Coach Sal is looking for currently might be a couple of guys over 300 pounds because of the ones that they do have on the roster right now. They can line up across in pass rush right now, whether it's over the guards are outside. I think they can put even some of those outside rushers over the guards now. Chance Main can rush on the inside. Hawkins can rush on the inside. A couple other guys, probably Seville Smalls, can even rush over the inside. The problem is, or the question right now, probably the biggest question on the team, and you see this coming right here from Surfer Boy and a few other guys. Trey Sanders getting 150 on this CU defense, and who covering JoJo Earl. We ain't worried about who covering because we got guys who can
Yeah,
cover.
we got
That
guys for cover.
defense
Trey
talking about stopping the run.
ain't doing nothing like
Trey
that for
Sanders,
one.
Talking
No
about
way.
it's the reason why we skipped over Trey Sanders.
Trey
and talking
Sanders
the
just
run.
came from a major injury. So he ain't
Right, right. He got to get back right. Hopefully, he'll prove himself back right, and that'll be cool. But still, he
Hey,
won't
Big
be
Dog.
outrunning anybody on this defense. They might be able to run up the middle on the defense, but if Amari McNeil out of Tennessee show and prove himself, I think he can ball out. If Bishop Thomas is good for 1 or 2 snaps a series, I think he'll be good there. And the other guys behind him, Leonard Payne, Shane Coates, I think they'll be good there, man.
No, I definitely feel like they'll be good. I just think he's not looking for your big beefy traditional,
I think he should
three
though, as well.
four
You
nose
need
He
tackle.
you
should
need you
right
need
now.
that though. You need
I
that
think he
though.
should right now because
Yeah,
in the
you
goal
need it
line,
against right. You need it against certain teams like a Big Ten. Like they're gonna struggle,
You still
believe it
you
or not,
still
against
you're gonna need
Nebraska.
it against Utah.
you
You
still
don't need
need
that
that.
Yeah,
against
right,
Utah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
You're
gonna
gonna
you
Utah,
need
gonna
it.
need it. You gonna
Nebraska,
need it against
Oregon
Oregon
State.
State too.
Yeah, those type of
Yeah.
teams that actually run the ball. Yeah, you're gonna need them against teams like that. But the majority of Pac-12 teams is hurry, it's nonstop. A lot of their linemen are under 300 pounds.
So
Like
what
they
you
moving
gonna do?
like
But
crazy.
you gonna
But
need them big boy. What you gonna
if
do if
I'm
you
a
make it to the
Pac-12
playoffs?
team, if I'm a
Only thing you can
Pac-12
do is
team,
try and outscore those teams. That's the only thing you
Oh,
can do.
nah, man. See that's
You gonna
Pac-12
struggle
thinking. We ain't doing
regardless.
nah. We ain't doing none of that, man.
You're not gonna change your entire scheme, for a few teams. You
well,
know what
if
you're
you want to
lacking in.
win, that's what people do. If you want to win week by week, you change not your whole scheme, but you
Right,
change
right.
your play calling, your philosophy, so to speak. But the point is, if I'm a coach coming into play Colorado, I'm gonna look to try to pound the ball on them. That's gonna be my
Right.
first.
Facts.
That's gonna be A1 goal because other
What's
than
been
that,
happening to them?
you putting the ball up against 5 stars now. Unless you want to just go out there and be like and do what those guys who threw interceptions against Dion did and said, I'm just going to
Yep.
challenge him. He's just going to have to pick it off. Then go throw it to Travis Hunter, go throw it to Kamani McLean, or you can say, I'm gonna make these guys up the middle to beat me and sustain throughout the whole game. That's what you better try to do.
Yeah. Yeah, not and that's why I agree. They're gonna struggle against teams like Nebraska, Oregon State, those teams, Utah, those teams that are known for ground and pound, that kind of University of Michigan, that I formation style of football. Like, yeah, they're gonna struggle against those teams. Only thing that will help them is if they had a 3 technique that can rush the passer like crazy up the middle. That's when you look for guys like a Bishop Thomas or a Leonard Payne, somebody that got quickness that can get
Amari
off the ball
McNeil.
quick. That's really the only chance you got because you're not gonna beat them in a strength game for 4 quarters. It's just not gonna happen.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think they gotta have a couple of Usos coming over that thing. 6'3.5", 320 pounds. All they doing is plugging up the middle. We playing goal line and short yardage. Other than that, we on the sideline. Goal line, short
Hey,
yardage. You see the
I
big
think they
play.
gonna have that. They
Yeah,
gonna have that.
I think Kelly finna come after them, man. They got the dogs on the outside. Everybody man to man. Everybody else go get the quarterback. That's how I just see the
Quarterback.
defense being super aggressive, being ultra aggressive because you really ain't got no choice. You ain't sitting back waiting. You got the cut. You got the press man to man corners to go cover. Now it's just about going to go get that quarterback.
And we
Right.
still ain't seen them walk-ons that South Series was asking for. They
Yeah, we
coming.
ain't seen them yet.
So I just say stay on the lookout, man, because it's gonna be one of them seasons. Real quick, we could talk about the offensive line. Somebody was asking about what do I think about the offensive line? I think the offensive line, and going back to what Coach Hayes said, how you think you're gonna compete in the Pac-12 with 2 offensive linemen from Kent State, 1 from Jackson State, and 2 from a 1-11 team? And I said, well, the 2 that's coming from Kent State, they know the offense already, which is very important to have on your team. Secondly, they graded out as the top 2 offensive linemen on Kent State's team. That's Jack Bailey and Savion Washington. Same thing with Big Tank at the left tackle and Van Bam Wells at center. They were the best two linemen on the team last year. Bring them back. Tyler Brown, you see him. He's showing improvement each and every day. Smart, fast, tough, different, discipline type guy. He's a rock right there at that left guard position. Bring him. Then you supplement that with a big Landon Beebe, who was a two-time captain at Missouri State. Forget about the school he come from. Look at the player and look at the production. Bring in the big guy from Florida, David Connor. He's hurt right now, but he has a lot of talent. He's there for another 3-4 years. You got a guy, a couple of JUCO guys at the right tackle position coming in. Reggie Young, who played at Liberty. So you got guys who have experience. Notice I didn't say a freshman from high school that has to develop. Shout out to Hank Zielinski and the other guys on the offensive line, but they didn't really do that. They brought in depth up to 2 to 3, 3 deep of guys who can play and who've already are 22, 23, 24 years old grown men. That's what I feel about the offensive line. Anybody else got any reservation about the offensive line?
Yeah, on that, Coach Hayes was hating on that right there. I will say he was hating on that right there. He not a hater, but he was hating on that line right there.
Yeah.
He hating on that offensive line because them two offensive line he brought in there from Kent State. Go back and look how many sacks they let happen last year, man. They didn't have
Right.
that many sacks. I think they might have gave up 1 sack between each other or 0. Go look and see how many sacks they gave up against Georgia last year.
You
Them
talking
two
about Kansas
guys.
City, right? Them two guys.
Yes,
No,
sir.
yeah, they grade out the highest. They those are the guys who carried out the right assignment. They didn't have busts. They didn't give up sacks, and they did what they were supposed to do. You know, when you
Come on.
grade out guys after the game, you're looking at what they did on each and every play, and you get a grade. You get a positive, you get a negative, or some coaches give just a straight line, meaning that it was neither one of them. And those two guys graded out the highest, meaning, like I said, no bust, completed assignments, and so on.
I think people discredit the line just because they don't know the scheme of what we're going to do on offense, how we are going to use our offensive linemen. And that's the part where people are discrediting offensive linemen because they're looking at the traditional Alabama line.
Right.
Everybody 325, 6'5, 6'6,
That's not
6'7.
what it is.
And that's not what it is. We trying to get our linemen to move out in space, to get our backs out in space, to get our receivers, free in space, to get those easy, first downs, to get those scoring drives. So I think people just need to, when they talk about the offensive line, understand the scheme of what we're trying to do, and we're fitting the personnel for what we're trying to do.
And that's the same thing what Coach Hayes commented on, saying that, man, this guy's tank is 6'10", only 300 pounds. He's thin. I'm like, well, what you looking at talking about thin? You know what I'm saying? The man 6'10" and massive. You feel me? And that's what they want. They want bigger, longer guys. And I heard a coach say this. They want more of basketball athletic type tackles. That's why they go those big, long, tall tackles, because they want them guys to be able to move. Some of the tackles in this scheme is going to be pulling. Unlike a lot of offenses, they only pull their guards. Where in this scheme, the tackles even pull. So they got to be athletic, be able to move and protect the quarterback, especially when he's moving outside of the pocket. This is going to be something to watch. I can't wait to see it, man. Let me see more comments. We got 350, 6'6", can't run play after play in that altitude. I wonder who they're talking about, 350, 6'6". And if you're talking about a big guy on their lines, then they won't have to run constantly. 1 or 2 plays, you come out. One or two
But
plays.
that lighter weight on that altitude ain't gonna have no effect on 'em. They drag them big boys up from the south up there from them other little schoolhouses. They
Yeah.
gonna run them in the dirt.
If
Gonna run
Kamani
them
don't
in the dirt.
start, he will play game 1. Of course, he will play game 1. That D-line needs depth as well. They got elite starters and little to no drop off behind them on that depth line. Yeah, you would love to have that, but that's going to continue to come as Coach Prime keep building year after year. More depth is going to come on that line. You can't expect them to have the depth of Georgia, Alabama, or Clemson right now. That's years in the making, man.
Yep.
Years. You see, Georgia just signed, and I saw it said they had an average of 6'7" or 6'8" of the 4 offensive tackles they just signed. That's because they have a prototype that they go after on their offensive tackles. And each and every position is a prototype that they go after. And that's what Coach Prime, I think, and his staff is trying to build. They're trying to build those prototypes of the guys that they'll go after at each and every position. So, that's what I'm looking
And
at.
you know what, big dog? I'm gonna tell you what's really gonna give these teams the blues. That people, I don't know if people. Yeah, I guess that we enamored by the glamour of the wide receivers and the defensive backs. And I guess I feel like we ain't giving them enough more love to them running backs, man. That's who's gonna be giving these boys the blues, man.
Yeah.
Ultimate Casper, and that's why I don't see how these other channels or networks ain't talking about if this was any other team that got the best running back out of the portal, they'd be singing into the high heavens.
Right.
Imagine if Trent Dilfer is done what Prime did right now in his first year.
Crazy.
Come on, man.
Shout out
And
to
this
UAB, man. You already know. Shout out to them. Oh, so
oh
hopefully
my bad on your schoolhouse, brother.
No, it's all good.
I apologize, brother.
I'm supposed to go back on August 12th, but I'm not gonna go back, man. It's too far of a trip. But I will be going to Colorado though. Shout out to them.
But no, Kimpo, look. That's wild. Trent Dilfer out the gate coming from high school, got the opportunity to go to a D1 school in UAB.
Right.
But Prime had to go through Jackson State
That's the
and then go to Colorado.
We know what that is, man.
What? That's that privilege.
That's the
Come on, man.
I think also though, I think also though that I was about to say that he took it out of my mouth. That's that Elite 11 that he had established. Previously he already had that, and that influence from recruiting is probably what put him there. Also, honestly, I think Coach Prime had something to do with it. Also, they saw the success Coach Prime had, and there is no really what HBCU for Trent Dilfer to go through. He could have went to North Alabama somewhere. He could have went to I don't know, some other school, but UAB I think is right there in his wheelhouse for him to go there. It's not quite an Alabama, it's not quite an Auburn. Do I think UAB can compete with those schools if they given a chance? Of course I do. Of course that might be biased on me, but I know what can happen. That's why Alabama and Auburn don't play UAB or even Detroit State, because they know if they get beat by them one time, they can lose some recruits to them. Why take that chance? We're going to go play Colgate somewhere, as Alabama. They go play Southwestern no-name university and beat the hell out of them on week 2 before they get ready for SEC school. So that's another topic. Real quick before we get up out of here, man. Let me see, man. Y'all get Shedeur Sanders some Lords of London insurance on his arm and legs now. Real talk. Surfer boy, man.
Trolling.
Let me see. Melanin Film says, so everyone has Kamani starting day 1. And listen, day 1 is not the first day of the first game. And he's gonna be proven that he's going to be a starter throughout this camp. He might not come into camp as the day 1 starter, but throughout the drills and throughout the play that they do and everything that's going on, they're going to have him subbing in for Travis, and then he's going to eventually make some plays out there, and then Trav, you come in, and Kamani, you come in now at the same time. Let's see what happens. Oh, damn. We can't take them off the field together. That's how you get your starting position, man. You go out there and you just deny the fact that you come off the field. You are a starter. That's what I think going to happen with him. No, they're not going to put him out there the first practice, opposite of Travis, because that'll kind of look crazy to the guys who've been there, I think. But when it's time to make
they're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is going to be how they're going to line up Travis and how they're going to line up Kamani. Like, where they're going to line him up at. Who's on the left?
He's going to go everywhere, fam. If you look at that spring game, he's going to slide outside this right there. And remember, Kamani said he only liked playing on the left. He said it's awkward for him to play on the right.
Right. So I think, with that being said, with him wanting to play on the left side, I think that's that number 1 corner side. If you're looking at the offense, that's the right corner. Defense, that's the left corner. So if he only wants to play that side, which I think that's the best side that Travis makes the most plays on also. So that's why I think that they'll be rotating kind of like that cornerback one position when Travis is on offense or he needs a breather. Kamani is there at that number one or that left side, right? And then when Travis comes in, either Kamani comes off the field or he slides over to the other side. You're gonna have to play both sides. Whether Travis goes to the other side or Kamani goes to the other side. You're gonna have to be kind of interchangeable at some point, you know. That's what I think.
Hey, too, and I'm gonna tell you another. Well, maybe I'm going off of last. People tell me don't go off of last year's team. I think another reason why I think that Colorado gonna do so good, man. If you remember last year, Alabama State played UCLA like in game 1 or 2 or something like that.
Right.
Alabama State was giving UCLA a game. It was like what 17-3 at halftime or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a good game that first half, man.
Yeah, for a little bit they hung in there, but then those big boys kind of just took over, and that shows you that football is football until that depth come into play. You know, that's why I think happens that depth come into play when that second string got to come in. Whether it's just one guy or two guys, that's when it really happens. I'll never forget playing, man. And I ain't gonna call nobody out, but I got a lot of stories like this. But I remember playing, man. We had a right guard. I'm not gonna say which year, but he was like I think he was like a freshman or a sophomore. But man, this guy came back to the huddle after the first play, eyes this big, boy, this big. And I looked over on the other D. I looked over at the D line, and it was a big shining over there. I'm talking about 6'5", big, strong, 295 guys. I think there was Southern Miss we were playing, or Florida. It was Florida State we was playing, and they was over there bouncing around, talking smack. And our offensive guard looked up. That boy eyes was this big. That's when you know, oh, he ain't ready for the lights. He about to get smashed for the rest of the game. He better wake up or something. But it's a difference in that, man. Some guys are built for it, no matter the size or whatever. And some guys are just not built for them lights, man. Those lights come on, those guys get to talking smack. It's a whole different ball game.
Hey, Big Dog, I think what you just said was important too, because when you talk about competition on like a team that's built off of youth and some vets, that's when you start to see like a lot of those young guys get exposed or a lot of lack thereof on the talent side. I think what they did as far as like getting all these transfers, you brought a lot of hungry guys in, and if you ask 1 through 6, everybody feel like they can start or got a chance to start. So I think when
mentality.
the mentality, and we all know if you play, like, it ain't even about top level sports. Just if you play sports, period, when you bring out the best in everybody, like the cream is always gonna rise to the top, but you're gonna always have like dogs that's waiting on their turn. So people can say whatever they want about the depth. The depth could easily be number 1 or number 2 easily. So it's like I'm not worried about that at all when it comes to Colorado.
And I agree. And the reason being is from what you just said. They're bringing in guys who are hungry. They're bringing in guys who have been through college football. They know the competition level. They played on the higher level also. It's just a different route being taken that Coach Prime took rather than just getting a bunch of high school guys who they got to develop. And I think it hasn't been seen before until this year. And that's what's going to be the intriguing thing to be watching, that all of these guys, no matter he can, like literally if you go down to defense, especially on those edge rushers, 3-4 deep, all of these guys got something to prove. He was good here in these situations. He can pass rush. He's a dog. He played well when he played. It was just other dogs on his team too, so they had to split time. That's what people not accounting for. They're just saying, "Oh, he ain't play much at that school." But what about the guys who did play too? And it's competition. They had to rotate also. Trust me. I had a chance to go to Auburn, right? Coaches wanted me to go to Auburn. I wanted to play tight end, but they wanted me to play linebacker. I knew who they had at tight end before I got there. A big 6'7" guy named Robert Johnson. Shout out to Big Rob out of Montgomery, who went on to play with the Washington Redskins. They also had Cooper Wallace or something at tight end there before me. Highly ranked guy. They also had another guy who was highly ranked. I knew if I came in undersized, not highly ranked like them and wanting to play a position that they didn't want me to play, I'm gonna be behind them. You know, I'm gonna be behind them. Yeah, they want me to play linebacker, but I want to play this position. I was dumb. Don't laugh at me, but I wanted to play this position. So okay, I'm gonna stay in state. I'm gonna go to this school that's still Division One, and I can play the position that I want to play. You feel me? It's multiple reasons why people don't go to certain schools or people don't get a chance to play. There are other guys in front of them that are either just as good, been there longer, got a better relationship. Their dad probably played at the school. I literally saw a guy come in who dad played at Auburn. He came in at UAB freshman, hate the freshman and started. I'm not gonna say the position because they'll know. Freshman and started over two guys who were way more productive than him the year before. Relationships, legacies, man.
Relationship.
So you can't just be saying that he didn't produce at this school or where he was before, so he ain't gonna produce that Colorado shit.
Or
That makes him even more hungry.
Yep.
or big dog. A lot of people forgetting. Like I wrote in the chat earlier, Levante Bentley, like he left Clemson, but Clemson two starting linebackers are projected first round picks. Like
Exactly.
Savale Smalls is no longer at Washington, but they have not one but two projected first round defensive ends. Like a lot of people are forgetting this.
And
Like
they'll be
Bishop
crazy to
Thomas,
stay there.
yeah, like he left FSU, but FSU stayed stacked with defensive linemen. He was a scout team player of the year. Like these ain't just nobodies. When you talk about a lot of these players, these are players that left because they're competing with NFL caliber talent at their position. It's not scrubs like a 1-11 Colorado guy that couldn't get on the field. Yeah, he won his damn practice tape. Like these
Right.
are players that are actually
Right.
balling and competing against guys that were balling. So yeah, I agree. It's much different when you talk about relationships as well as players that can actually play that's in front of you.
Right. Exactly. Because I've seen guys who I definitely feel like should have been in the league, and I'm sure anybody who played football before have seen, and they just don't make it for whatever reason, fall by the wayside, don't get a chance, or whatever. But they are definitely good enough to play in the league. Man, you got to realize it's not that many people who go to the league. It's not that many people who even get a chance to go to the training camp to get cut on the first day. You feel me? I had a I had a
Exactly.
roommate. I had a roommate. I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, but I had a roommate who had a chance to go to camp. I'll never forget this. He had a chance to go to camp for the Miami Dolphins. He didn't even really care about football, dog. He said these folks just called me and offered me to come to their camp. I said, who? He said the Dolphins. What? Went
Man, I
down there,
think that
went
so
down,
fast.
went down there for the weekend, came back. My dog said, "Sure, I got some gloves and some shorts out the deal." I said, "Man, some gloves and some shorts."
Man, man, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like
You
you
feel
just
me?
have some studs that it just doesn't work in their favor for whatever reason, whether it was politics, injury history, whatever the case may be. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to write people off, but it's like everybody looks for that opportunity. You look at a guy like, since we talking about transfers, Jared Verse. Jared Verse came out of
Right.
nowhere and took Derek McClendon's spot. Jared
Out of
Verse is the guy that
FCS.
we're talking about as a top 5 pick. Like this just ain't nobody we talking about that he got his spot took by.
An
Like come on
FCS
now,
player at that.
right? And then Pendleton, the other defensive end, the kid that just spurted out of nowhere. It's like these are
And
real
Verse might have came
studs
from
that they getting beat
HBCU, if
out
I
by.
ain't mistaken.
Real studs, yeah.
Real
And
stud.
what was that running back that was at Minnesota last year? Abraham or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Abraham.
he Abraham or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, he came from Alabama State, Alabama A&M.
Yeah, you look
He
at
was
Alvin
there. They
Kamara.
Jackson State played against him in 2021.
People forget that Alvin Kamara was at Alabama when they were
Shut him
Alabama
down
on the
too.
running back
And
side.
look at
Stacked,
all of that talent they had.
stacked.
He
Yeah,
would have been crazy to just stay there. He would
they
he probably would have never gotten the opportunity. Not saying that he wasn't
that
good enough. He just wouldn't have had
that
the
wide
opportunity.
receiver for Houston, Tank Dell. They went to the league to the Texans this year. Cold, little Jimmy Horn looking cat.
Jackson
And
State had a wide receiver, D. Baldwin. He left and went to Michigan.
Isaiah Baldwin.
No, I think his name was.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
But he ended up in the league now, I think, or he had a chance in the league. But point is,
Mhm.
hey, it's just about opportunity, man. Not the school you were
Right.
at. It's about the opportunity you have.
exactly. Look at a
Uh,
guy like Spencer Rattler was looking good at Oklahoma until who came? Caleb Williams came, took his spot, but he's not talking about anybody. This is a guy that eventually won a Heisman. That
right.
doesn't mean Spencer's bad. Spencer went to South Carolina
And
and
ball.
rebooted his career. You look at
Right.
a guy like Bo Nix, he was damn near
Yeah,
horrible at Auburn.
He
What
was.
he do? He go to Oregon, and now they talking about he a first round pick.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just situational.
It's
J-Mo.
definitely situational. I've seen that with my own eyes. So
And
we
Shador
just
beat Caleb Williams.
had a transfer portal.
And
I think
Shador beat Caleb Williams too in 8th grade.
yeah, they played against each other. Huh? And then
Uh-huh.
with them going head to head in Colorado, man, I can't wait to see that game. That's going to be a big one. That could be a Heisman deciding game right there. I expect big numbers out of both of them. Huge crowds, ESPN all over that.
I feel like it's gonna come down to who got the ball last in that game.
Right. No, I think the defense is going to dictate some things because from what I've seen, Caleb like to scramble and he like to hold that ball low. He
They're gonna put
gets
some wood
snappy
on
with
him.
that ball sometime, and they're gonna underestimate a McClendon or Kai Maines
Man's
coming off that backside and smashing his ass. That ball on the ground, pick it up and
what you
go.
call what's his Chance Main gonna come through there with the Texas tornado twist him.
Tornado, I'm telling you. That Tasmanian boy looking like a wrestler out there, boy.
Yeah, you see when he came through with the smoke, he did that little head shake.
Yeah, like Goldberg. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? He's
I see
brother.
that. Yeah, I know that's why Chico did that too, because he came through with that little head shake to it,
He
and
looked
he
just
had the
like him.
the
I got
little pop of the neck. He had to
yeah.
pop the neck real quick.
My dude got that Taylor dead haircut though. My shit
I'm
turned
telling you,
out.
I told him, I say, man, listen, man, when your football career done, I don't know who your agent is, but if you ever need one, I'm going straight towards the WWE for you, dog. You can
Yeah,
go try to play in the Canadian League. You can go try to play USFL or XFL, but your calling is going to be a dun. You walking out, the Texas tornado. We know you from. He said you forgot I'm from Kansas. Well, I said, yeah, I remember you from Kansas, but I see you posting a lot of stuff from Texas. He said, yeah, my girl's from Texas. I got people in Texas, and basically being Texas. I said, well, hell, you the Texas tornado. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't nothing go well with Kansas.
Right, unless you're
So,
trying to click your heels together or some shit.
you know what I mean? Yeah, everything bigger in Texas. You want to be big, you know what I'm saying? So Texas is a lot better. So yeah, I think he got a future ahead of him, man. Along with a lot of these guys on the team. Another thing, real quick, transition. That's what I think sets Colorado apart, and also being attached with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and everything they got going on. You can expand your brand outside of just playing. This NIL is serious because you can take it into your own hands. You see how many players got YouTube pages. You see how many players selling T-shirts, their own merch, and so on. I think that's amplified because Coach Prime and Shador and Shiloh and everybody is in Colorado, and I think they need to continue to take advantage of that. I think that is enticing also for freshmen to come in.
Just look at how many NIL deals Travis got so far since he's been in Colorado.
That boy's smart too. He taking
Hey,
over
even
that.
past them NIL deals. Don't forget. Remember how them guys I was it some of them guys that graduated last year that didn't get no football NFL opportunity. Who was that guy that got that NFL Network deal down there at Jackson State last year? It was like a quarterback or something like that. Man, them guys are getting intern jobs and stuff like that in Fortune 500 companies and stuff, man. Prime is
Yeah.
introducing these guys them relationships until people they can put them in the right
It's
position
real
in life.
positions. Yeah, real position. And that's what it's all about. It's all about that. Real quick, this is about relationships. I played against a guy at East Carolina. He was a linebacker, right? And I remember smashing this guy, killing this guy, smashing this guy. Couldn't cover me, couldn't get off my blocks, anything, right? I went over, played overseas in Europe, came back. I was in somewhere on the East Coast, like Baltimore somewhere. Went into an IHOP and I saw this guy. I'm like, man, bro, what's up? But he had on a Steelers sweatsuit and his hand was in a cast. It's like, bro, what's going on, man? What you doing? Oh, I just got done with the Steelers camp. I'm thinking in my head, damn, you got to go to Steelers camp? You feel me? So I didn't say that though, but I'm thinking. So I'm like, how did you get? I said, how? How did you get to go to Steelers camp? He said, oh, and it's all about relationships. He said, oh, my agent knew somebody and somebody knew somebody, and they were able to get me in the camp and get me a chance. That's all it's about. Those relationships, man, will take you so far in life. It's crazy. Now he's sitting there. He probably still getting the check and getting the pay because he's hurt. They can't cut him off the top. So he's still getting paid on injury reserve or whatever. You know what I mean? So I knew the guy wasn't, in my opinion, an NFL linebacker, but he gets a chance because of that reason right there, man. Real quick, like, so we at 151, man. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in with me. If you guys haven't left a donation, you can if you want to. If you want to leave a like, that's a donation. You want to hit the heart button, you can do that. Come in, I appreciate it. Share this thing. What you call it? Hit the notification bell and all that other good stuff, man. See you, Buff, coming, and y'all gonna be ready for it. Shout out to Big LT, we got up in here. Shout out to Tony the Pod Boss. You got Rob the Man Media in here. Also, Hustle Montana, I appreciate you. Anybody else, make sure you tap in with me, man. I'm gonna be going live here and there much as I can. This has been Woke Up Motivated Monday. We got also Coach Hayes Thursday. I will be on with Coach Hayes Thursday. Y'all check that out, and you go ahead and subscribe to him also. Anything else y'all want to add?
Nah, man, we just appreciate you on letting us on the show, baby.
For sure, for sure. Much love, man. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. We up and up out this thing. Peace in the middle. Yeah.
Yes, sir.